Southern California is famous for its perfect weather. From the ground, a clear, sunny afternoon over a commercial business park looks completely harmless. But what feels like a breezy 75 degrees on the sidewalk is a 150-degree environment on a flat commercial roof. The conditions up there are significantly more hostile than they appear from the street. This temperature gap often leads property managers into a false sense of security. After weeks of clear skies, it is easy to look at a dry ceiling and assume the building is secure. In reality, Southern California roofs fail through a relentless compounding cycle. Every day without rain adds a new layer of stress that remains invisible from the ground. Waiting for the first visible leak inside the building often means the roof has already spent months absorbing damage that hasn't yet found a path through the ceiling. Relentless UV radiation acts as a silent ager, baking the elasticity out of roofing membranes. Over time, the material becomes brittle, developing microscopic microfissures. This brittleness makes the roof vulnerable to thermal shock. The surface expands under direct sun, then contracts sharply when temperatures drop. This constant physical movement places intense pressure on connection points like seams, flashings, and HVAC curves. Repeated stretching eventually pulls these joints apart. Along the coast, the overnight marine layer adds a different type of stress. It blankets the weakened roof in persistent moisture, lingering into the morning. Airborne salt from the ocean mixes with this damp air, creating a corrosive environment. This chemical combination attacks nettle drain hardware and edge fasteners, weakening the components that hold the roof in place. By the end of a typical dry season, heat has stripped the roof of its flexibility, and salt air has compromised its anchors. The system is left defenseless against the seasonal shifts to come. In late fall, the air pressure shifts, driving the intense, dry force of the Santa Ana winds across the region. When high-speed gusts hit a building's wall, air is forced under the roof's edge metal. This creates uplift pressure on weakened perimeter corners. If the flashing is loose, wind peels back the membrane. The surface billows upward, exposing the underlying insulation to the elements. Regional wildfires add another layer of contamination. They carry fine ash and debris miles from the flames, which eventually settles across rooftop surfaces. When this dry ash mixes with the morning marine layer, it creates a heavy, concrete-like sludge. This debris flows into primary drains and scuppers, effectively clogging the building's only path for water removal. This creates the first rain problem. A sudden, concentrated burst of winter rain hits the building with thousands of gallons of water. The downpour arrives while seams are open, edges are lifted, and drains choked with ash. Water quickly pools into massive, heavy zones. It bypasses damaged flashing, entering the building through gaps created by months of heat and wind. The first storm of the year acts as the final reveal for a season of damage that began with the first summer heat wave. Sudden roof failures can halt tenant operations, ruin inventory, and force property managers into expensive emergency repairs during the peak of the storm season. In California, insurance companies are closely monitoring these risks. Carriers are increasingly penalizing properties with undocumented maintenance or visibly aged systems, making roof condition a primary factor in coverage renewals. Effective property management requires viewing the commercial roof as an active weather-facing system. It is a critical business asset that requires a climate-specific maintenance plan to stay functional. This means documenting UV wear, securing edge metal before wind season, and clearing ash from drains long before the winter rains are in the forecast. Protecting your investment requires outsmarting the local weather cycle. Contact Commercial Roofer Orange County for a pre-storm evaluation to ensure your roof